There it is, guys. A thing of beauty. 3rd gen 4Runner. Awesome. Hey guys, this is my new Gen 3 4Runner. Love this thing. I've had one before, probably about 12 years ago. I had a limited, it was a 96 I believe, and loved that thing. It's probably still going. Actually, it is still going. Anyway, how this happened is my son and I traded. This was his 3rd gen 4Runner. He's had it for years. He's put a ton of work into this thing, and I'll go over that here in a second. And I gave him my GX 470. He's doing a lot of stuff in BC, and I thought it was the right thing to do, and we made a deal. So I'm pumped that I have this, and my son's pumped that he has my GX 470. So guys, I'm out here in the boonies, and I figured while I'm out here, I'd get this review done on the 3rd gen 4Runner. I'm out here with my Leica film camera. I got some portrait film in it, and I was going to do some landscape photography. But before I get started on that, I'm going to show you those wild horse photos I did not long ago. I forgot to show you the pictures that I took with the old Canon film camera, so I'm going to put them in here real quick, and we'll get back to the review. I actually had one probably 10 or 12 years ago. I had a 96 limited. It was a black one. It's still going strong somewhere. I think it's in BC somewhere, but the last I heard it was going. This guy's got huge kilometers on it, like most of them, because it is almost 30 years old. It has 470,000 kilometers on it. That's nothing. Another thing you notice, and again, I've had a ton of vehicles. I don't know how many now, 60 or 70. I'm losing track. The thing you notice with this compared to my 5th gen is the size. This thing is really narrow. Overall width, not including the mirrors, is 10 inches narrower than the 5th gen 4Runner. So that's it's really noticeable. The wheelbase is a little bit shorter as well on this guy compared to the 5th gen. Yeah, and it's just not as big and lumpy as the 5th gen. It just feels really nimble. You know what, if you're not putting on huge tires, the power's fine with the stock wheels. The ones I have on here now are, I think they're about 30 and a half inches compared to the stock, I believe was 28. I don't really notice the power difference, but when the 28-inch wheels were on, the snow tires, it was peppy enough. It has the factory running boards, which I don't know, I'm gonna probably take them off, but I'm not sure, because I need the mud flaps on there, and if you take that off, the mud flaps go with it, and that front tire can kick up a lot of stones and crap right into the rockers, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do there. He has Old Man Emu 2.5-inch medium duty suspension up front. So I'm going to put a winch on the front of this. I don't know what I'm going to do for a bumper. I don't like changing the looks of this too much. I don't like some of the bumpers that kind of change the whole front end, but we'll see what goes on there. Definitely we'll put a winch on it, and with those medium duty springs from Old Man Emu, it'll handle the extra weight, whatever I do with it. In the back, he had Old Man Emu, and they were heavy duty coils, and he had a 2.5-inch in the back, although when it was empty, it was more like a 3-inch. He carried a ton of gear in the back, 400 or 500 pounds of gear, so he needed that heavy duty setup. But for me, when this thing was empty, it was literally like driving a stagecoach. I think I lost a tooth on a couple bumps, so I got rid of those. I pulled those out and put 3-inch progressive springs, so it rides great now with nothing in it, and you still have enough. It's still high enough that when you load it up, it doesn't look like the bottom end's falling out of it. I got a new aerial coming. This one is, it's missing that little rubber piece, and it's bent. So I'm gonna pick one of those up. Amazon, 30 bucks. The interior is very minty. There's no rips or tears in the seats. They look brand new. All the doors are minty fresh. There's no rust. It's got a brand new shiny bumper on it. These old 4Runners, these Gen 3s, the bumpers usually go. Usually the first thing to go, and this one's got a brand new one. All that shiny chrome, and it's also got the hitch on the back, which I've smacked my knee off about 5 times already. It's got LEDs. So these things are real classics now. Everybody loves these old 3rd gen 4Runners, and I do too. I think they're awesome. And you know, people just out of the blue will give me the thumbs up driving this thing around, especially the Toyota guys. But anyway, it's a cool little vehicle. It's really nimble. You notice the size difference for sure compared to my 5th gen that I owned for 3.5 years, the 2018 TRD off-road. Every time I come out here, there's a new spine. I've had, like I said, I've had one of these before, back 12 or so years ago. And before that, I had a 1988 1st gen. It was a white one, 4Runner, and it had the V6, and it was nasty, man. It was slow, gas guzzling thing, but still pretty cool. So this guy came with 15-inch rims, and I just took those off. They had the studded snow tires on them. So I picked these guys up. This is from a 2020 Tacoma, and these are the factory Toyota Tacoma rims, 16-inch, and they're in great shape, perfect condition, but they have these kind of a cheesy road tire on it, and they still have lots of life left, but they're just not aggressive enough. So I'm going to put something different on there, and I'm not going to go too huge just because it's going to mess up the overall gear ratio. But anyway, that's where I got these. But I think my favorite of the old ones, of course, is this 3rd gen. I think it just looks cool, and they're really sought after. People will pay huge dough for a good one, and this is a good one. It's pretty much rust-free. It's really great shape, and so far I'm loving it. Here's a nice spot to camp. Middle of the mountains, lots of wood for the campfire. Got a creek running through here. Still got snow in the corners. It gets cold still at night, but it's a beautiful spot. Everything will be lush and green soon. Another couple weeks. I did clean it for you guys, but it can't be clean out here. So this is a classic for sure, in my opinion, and people are really looking for these. These are sought after, and they can fetch some big dough, you know, if they're in good shape. But what's really cool about these is this is easily, you know, a daily driver. You guys can drive this thing to work or through the mountains, and it doesn't feel like an old underpowered thing. I had an FJ62, I believe it was a 1988. And I love those old wagons, the 4-doors. I think they're the coolest vehicles out there as far as looks. I just love the look of them. But it had the V6 in it, and it was underpowered. I think it was, I can't remember what the engine size was, 4-point-something liter engine the Toyotas have. And it was just a sloth. It was absolutely frightening to drive if you got into mountains or anything other than prairies. So it wasn't easy to use daily. I had it for a few years. And yeah, it just wasn't a fun vehicle to drive in this part of the world anyway. But this is definitely, you know, no problem, highway speed, or it's got enough power.